I'm sure you guys know what today's major story is. I know it's been almost a week since it happened, but this is the first time we're covering it on this show. And of course, I am talking about the assassination attempt on former U.S. President Donald Trump, who is also the Republican nominee running for re-election. Just as a brief synopsis of what happened, I believe this was on Saturday when he had a rally in Pennsylvania in a city called Butler. And this is significant. I guess the location is significant because Pennsylvania is a very big swing state. So, it's kind of tilting on the edge, always flipping between, or at least for this election cycle, is flipping between Republican and Democrat. And it's kind of like, at this point, is anybody's game who's going to win this state. And it has 19 electoral votes. So it's quite a large amount of electoral votes. Again, you need to, for audience members who might not know how the American systems work, you need to collect 270 or more electoral votes to win the presidential election. And Pennsylvania alone has 19. So obviously both sides are trying to battle for this state. And this is where Donald Trump decided to have his rally. So I'm showing a map as to exactly what happened. So it's labeled pretty nicely, right? You can see that there's a stage on the left side of this map, and then that's where Donald Trump was speaking. And in front of him is a huge audience, and then there's bleachers behind him, and then there's like a building behind the bleachers, which is where the Secret Service set up their counter snipers to prevent issues like what we've seen happen. However, there's been a lot of debate as to like how they could have missed the gunman, because there was a shooter, and the shooter set up on a building that was only 150 yards away from the stage, which it's absolutely baffling how like you let a shooter get that close, right? So if I remember correctly, a trained sniper, in like a professional sniper in the military, can hit a target up to a kilometer away. So 150 yards is about, I think, 130 something meters, right? So 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. So, a trained sniper can hit something from 1,000 meters away. And this gunman, who was, he was only like 20 years old, and he wasn't, military trained as far as I'm aware. He managed to get on this roof that was only 150 yards away, so 130 something meters away. He took, I think, 3 or 4 shots at Trump. And you can see there's another map down here where it's like less cluttered. It's like more of just a Google Maps type of map. And then you can see that the picture below that is what happened, right? So Trump was, I think he was talking about immigration, and he was pointing to a chart that he was showing. And because he was pointing to his chart, he tilted his head to point and look at it, and that's what saved his life. Because as you can see, this is like literally 1 second. The first picture is 1 second before like the bullet hit him. And he was looking sort of maybe at the crowd, right? And then, as you can see, if he had not moved his head, the bullet would have pierced his head and went through like the back part of his brain. But then, because he changed his posture, he pointed at this at the chart. He swiveled his head at the very last second, and the bullet ended up grazing his ear. So he was he was bleeding from his ears, but like it missed all the vital parts. And then by the time the second or third shot came, he realized that he was being shot at, and he ducked. And then that's when the opportunity to get him was gone. And then I think it was within another like 5 to 10 seconds, the Secret Service snipers spotted the shooter and returned fire and killed the shooter. So Donald Trump literally dodged multiple bullets. So he's, like people are putting his face on Neo from the Matrix, right? Like dodging the bullets. Like he's super lucky to be alive, honestly. And, just looking back at this picture, I said to all my friends that day that we were half an inch away from total annihilation. And that sounds like really hyperbolic, but I'm actually not kidding, right? Because think about what would have happened if Trump was killed, right? So regardless if you love or hate Trump, I think we can all agree that if he was assassinated, this would not be a good thing at all, because the Republicans, the Trump supporters, would think that, oh, maybe like Joe Biden ordered it or whatever, right? There'd be conspiracy theories left and right. And there's still conspiracy theories, even when the assassination failed. So imagine if it was successful, right? And then like the Democrats would be like, oh, like a lot of like the more extreme left wing were even kind of like celebrating that there was an attempt on his life and saying that, oh, how could the shooter have missed? I wish they didn't miss, and all that kind of stuff, right? So I think that this level political discourse that we've already seen from a failed assassination attempt is incredibly concerning. And I could only imagine what would have happened if it was successful, right? So this is why I believe I am not being hyperbolic when I said that we were half an inch away from total annihilation, because like it would have been a civil war, quite frankly, right? So luckily that didn't happen, and what we got instead was, if you scroll down to the next picture, this is a picture. This is like an epic picture, right? I mean, even if you hate Trump, I think that you have to agree that this is like absolutely epic. Him like raising his fist in defiance with blood like coming across his face and pouring from his ear, and the American flag in the background. So I was saying to my friends how like and to you guys, like Tristan and Dom, I was saying to you guys how, if you had $1 million, or if you had $100 million, not even a million, right? Like if you had $100 million, which I believe Trump does, you could not buy a picture like this, right? Like it just, you could try and buy it, but like it wouldn't make sense if it didn't have a story, right? So Trump just got this picture for free, pretty much, and this picture is going to be on T-shirts and it's going to be everywhere. And there's a lot of opinions online, which I don't think is outrageous, to say that this image might just win Trump the election, because he basically got this image for free, right? And let me just like tell you why it's so epic, because it reminds me of this little piece of history. This next picture is Iwo Jima in 1945. So if you guys don't know, this is World War II, and during 1945, the campaign across the Pacific, the American army was hopping from island to island, battling Japan, and Iwo Jima was a really hard fought battle where the Americans took heavy casualties trying to take the island. And when they finally did, they raised the flag. And this is the original photo is black and white, but this one is colorized. And I think they did a great job on this. So it's, I don't know, maybe I'm just like reading too much into this, but the Trump picture kind of reminds me of that, where it's like American exceptionalism, American spirit triumphing over violence and tyranny and all that stuff. But yeah, anyways, maybe some people who hate Trump feel different, and I totally like understand if you do. I'm just saying my opinion, right? Anyways, so yeah, the next picture, a tweet, again, as I said, yeah, 125 meters away, so I was close. The shooter was 125 meters away, and um, yeah, there's been a lot of debate about how this could have happened, because now I'm also reading some reports that the Secret Service actually spotted the shooter beforehand for like half an hour, and they were just monitoring him, and they didn't know if he was like a spectator, because he was outside the hard security perimeter, so they didn't know whether he was like he was just a spectator or if he was an assassin. And I guess they didn't realize what was going on until he pulled out a gun, and then by that time it was too late, because he already taken a few shots at Trump. So I think that there's been debates online whether or not this shooter had inside connections, or there was some type of conspiracy again, right? I'm not trying to peddle conspiracy theories. I'm just saying I've seen military experts say that, like, if you were going to take a shot at the at Trump, uh, like where else would you go, right? There's only one roof that's remotely close to the stage besides the building that was behind Trump, which was where the counter snipers were set up. So, like, if you were going to cover one roof, that's the only roof that you would cover, and yet it was not covered. And apparently, there were Secret Service agents inside of that building where the shooter was on the roof of. But like they didn't do any good because they were inside the building and the shooter was on top of the roof. So like it's just multiple layers of security failure that led to this near disaster, right? Like that led to like literally the like American country, the entire United States sinking into potentially what could be a civil war. So yeah, it was this a conspiracy or was it just negligence? Maybe we'll have a debate on that later. But I just want to kind of maybe go through a little bit of the reaction to the online reaction to this assassination attempt. So first of all, because Trump survived, now he's like getting all the pity points and all the scene points from this like the photo that I just shared of him raising his fist and also like just a lot of extra fame in general, and the poly market betting odds for Trump winning the next this 2024 election has gone up to 70%, and Joe Biden has dropped to 17%. And to be honest, like we don't even know if it's going to be Joe Biden on the ticket. Like if I were to bet, I would say probably it's not even going to be Joe Biden because there's already a lot of pressure for him to drop out of the race. And I think that by the time the Democratic National Convention, which is in late August, by the time that rolls around, the pressure for him to drop out is going to be too great, and he's not going to be allowed to just accept the nomination because the top Democrats are pushing him out. But anyways, that's another topic altogether. I'm just saying, for regardless of who's running against Trump, it's like a 70% chance of him winning at this point. And more evidence of Trump's surge in popularity. Elon Musk has endorsed Donald Trump. So he's this is a tweet that he said. He says, "I fully endorse President Trump and hope for his rapid recovery." And I know that Elon Musk is seen as an alt-right people by people on the left, and you can make an argument. I think that he's definitely shifted right throughout the years. But let me just remind you that a couple of years ago, I think this was when Trump was still president, that Trump used to like not be on good terms with Elon Musk. So he like made this post on I think this is his Truth Social. This was like a couple of years ago where he said, when Elon Musk came to the White House, he was like begging me for help, and he was asking me for like all these subsidies, and he was like building driverless cars that crash and rocket ships that go nowhere. So like the typical Trump style where Trump was like kind of insulting Elon Musk. But now I think that all that bad blood is behind them. So yeah. Anyways, I could go on, but let me just take a brief pause right here, actually. So let me toss kind of it's not even a question, but let me just ask you what were you doing during the do you remember what you were doing during the Trump assassination attempt? I believe this happened in the evening, like 5 o'clock Eastern time ish on Saturday. What were you doing, and what was your initial reaction when you saw the news? And yeah, just start from there, I guess.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you exactly where I was. So, um, like my girlfriend's mom and sister were here for the weekend, so we headed on over to Lake Moraine and Lake Louise. That was really nice, but when I got a bit of downtime, I took a look at my phone. Ironically, it's Six Buzz, the first thing that I see, I think it was, and this is like Trump has not been shot in the air. I'm like, what are you talking about? Then I immediately go to our little group chat with like the three of us and like other people. And I was so shocked. Apparently, I was like completely behind on it, and yeah, no, it's extremely shocking. Never would I have thought like another shooting like this would ever happen. I think the only other shootings that come to mind is JFK, and I thought that like there would be security protocols against this by now, but apparently there's a little bit of holes and maybe some stories have been told by other people. We don't know how this all like foretold. We just know that he got shot in the air, and it seems like he's okay now. I think he has a bandage. Last time I remembered, and I guess things go on, but it's still crazy overall.
Yeah, I mean, there was like, I'm not sure if you saw the animation of like somebody did a 3D modeling of him like tilting his head at the very last minute. And that one was in 3D. So basically, it's the same as the photo of his like head that I just shared, but like animated. Yeah, it was crazy, crazy close. And yeah, I mean, I think you were like at least like 5 hours late to the story, right, Dom? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. You guys are like, "What? You just found out now? So late?" I'm like, "Oh, my bad, I was busy."
yeah. But yeah, it was nobody expected it to happen, right? I'll share my experience after Tristan, but let me toss it to Tristan.
Yeah, so prior to the shooting, I was out no, I was working that day. It was Saturday, right? I was working in the morning and most of the afternoon, and we went to a public pool after I'd been working, and so no phones allowed there. And that was around the time when the shooting happened, which meant that I didn't have my phone. And then after that, we were biking back from the pool, um, and we decided to go get Osmos. And if you don't know what Osmos is, it's very good shawarma. So it was in the waiting outside because we forgot a bike lock. Or no, we didn't. We There was nowhere to lock our bikes actually, so I had to stay with the bikes. So I finally checked my phone then, and that's when I saw the whole drown. I was like, "What the heck is going on?" So it was pretty wild stuff. I still
Yeah,
can't believe that that they actually someone actually tried to assassinate Donnie Trump. That's it's just wild.
yeah, no, like I said, there's only one roof besides the roof where the counter snipers were on that's like even remotely close to Trump's stage. Like, how could you not have the roof covered? Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's like I'm almost inclined to believe that it was a conspiracy, but I'm not going to go that far. But let me just maybe share my experience on what happened. Like when I saw the news on Saturday night, right? So actually I I saw this event happen live, and I was just I think I went to Dollarama with my mom, and you guys, in case you guys don't know what Dollarama is, it's like it's the dollar store, right? Like Dollar General, I guess is what like the equivalent of that would be in the United States. But yeah, I mean, I didn't want to go in because like my mom wanted to buy something I didn't want to buy, so like I just stayed in the car and waited for her, and she went inside Dollarama. And then I was just bored, and I was just browsing YouTube. And then I guess maybe like YouTube knows I like American politics stuff, so it starts recommending me American politics stuff. So my top recommended video was the live stream of the Trump rally from Butler, Pennsylvania, and like I wasn't gonna watch it at first, but I was like, there's literally nothing else on. So I might as well pop in and see what he's saying. Like, might as well, right? And then I click on the video, and Trump is like being wrestled by his Secret Service agents to the floor. And then like everyone is screaming, and like all the comments, like because it was a live stream, right? So there were comments enabled, and all the comments were like, "WTF just happened? Like, what's going on? Blah blah blah." Right? Like everyone was so confused, everyone's panicked, and then I immediately I close the video and I go on Twitter to check what happened, and there was nothing on Twitter. So I was actually like 1 to 2 minutes faster than Twitter because I saw it live, and Twitter didn't pick up on it, or X, whatever it's called. X didn't pick up on it until like 2 minutes later. So I saw like this is the first time in my life I've seen like uh, something this big happen live, I guess you can say. Like, never mind like an assassination. Obviously, I believe that this is like the first assassination attempt on a presidential candidate or a former president that a lot of people has ever seen. But like, you know, something to this magnitude, I've never actually watched it live. Like I've watched live TV all my life, and this is like the most craziest thing that's happened on live TV that I've seen. So that was my experience, and then I immediately tweeted in the group chat, posted in the group chat that with you guys that, you know, like Trump just been shot, his condition is unclear. I forget exactly what I said, and nobody responded for like the first 5 minutes because you guys were all preoccupied, I guess, and Dom didn't respond for the next 5 hours.